on this week's episode of I-45 Confidential.
Who's the first person you call if there's an emergency? She said 911. Okay, great. What's the second call you make?
Good one. Because what do the people say? If this is an emergency, please hang up and call 911. Right.
I have a friend at work too. She and I are always taking natural supplements. And people ask us what does it do? I'm like, I don't remember anymore. I read it up on it at the time. I decided to start taking it, and that's it. So look it up for yourself because you should do your research too.
People will confide some of the craziest things in me all the time, but it's because as a child, I learned how to listen with my eyes. You are about to witness a conversation, a confidential conversation between lifelong friends. For more than 3 decades, they've laughed, cried, yelled, danced, traveled, and learned together. They are experts in nothing, but experienced in life. Welcome to the conversation, and welcome to I-45 Confidential.
Welcome to I-45 Confidential Podcast today. We're going to talk about something that's really important, health, because health is wealth. There's a point in your life when you start to understand that the most important thing in your life isn't money, isn't relationships, it's your health, because without it, you don't have anything. And it's a thing that when you get older, your relationship toward it changes. And I really want to talk about that because a lot of times we don't talk about it. It's very interesting because now the younger generations have names for things that we just didn't have. So I want to go ahead and introduce the people, our confidants that are here with us today. We got Mo in the house.
Hi. It's Mo. I'm here. I'm a unicorn. I had a baby at 40.
Okay. And we got Kim, our social butterfly.
Hey, y'all. It's me, Kim, the social butterfly, until my social battery drains.
That's okay. And last but not least, we got Elise.
Authentically Elise here. I'm rock steady and I'm ready. Let's go.
And you got Rochelle, who is calling people back because she take up medicine and understands that mental health is really important.
Good job. Good job.
Okay, that's okay.
We are proud of you.
Yeah, because mental health, most people didn't understand when we were younger that it was part of health. How important it is to make sure that your mental health is good. It was something that people didn't talk about a lot. Black people are known not to want to go to therapy back in the day. Jesus was going to fix it.
And don't put them white folks in your business.
Okay. But we've learned that it's something that we have to take care of just like we take care of everything. You brush your teeth, you take care of your mental illness, and you take care of your health. There's a problem when you have a health scare. And we see our parents, we've seen our parents go through health challenges, and somehow it still didn't change the way we took care of ourselves. And now we're getting to the ages that we saw our parents start having problems, and we're starting to understand the difference. Who in here started to understand that your health was changing? You knew the moment that your health was changing, that it was different, that you couldn't get up as fast as you could, or you couldn't, sleep was more important. You couldn't stay up all night. Do you remember the moment and the time that happened?
I always slept. So sleep, we always slept. I was coming in from class I was taking a nap.
Nap was really important.
Yeah, I've always slept. So I'm always going to have a nap. Y'all know that. But for me, I think I realized that my health was changing probably about, I don't know, maybe when I started with my knees. And I remember having a conversation with you, Elise, about glucosamine. I remember you telling me to get some. And I was like, I'm not buying that. I don't need it. My knees are going to be just fine. No, here we are years later and my knees are screaming out. So I think that's when I first noticed like my body, I don't want to say my body became my biggest op, but yeah, my body is definitely an op.
Really? And what do you do daily to make sure that it's okay?
I take vitamins and I take supplements, but the heavier I've gotten, the worse, of course, my knees have gotten. I just recently, just this summer, I've gone back to getting in the pool, swimming, working out in the pool. And that has helped. Yeah, I still have issues with my knees. The more weight I get off, I feel like the better my knees will feel. And it's good for my heart. I think also one of the things for me why I started working out again, not just for my physical health, but for my mental health. I feel a lot better afterward. So
it's all connected.
What about you? Your mother had an autoimmune disease.
She had lupus.
And you were one of the first people in our friend group to really have...
I think I'm the first for a lot of things. I'm like the guinea pig.
And your mom wasn't looking at her, she was very healthy. She was never overweight. She looked very healthy.
She looked healthy, but remember, my mom smoked. She smoked from jump. She never stopped smoking even when she was diagnosed with lupus. She never stopped smoking. She was never a big drinker or anything like that. It was like maybe a short period of time where a lot of people who have autoimmune disease, they don't know how to deal with it, or maybe they haven't been diagnosed yet. And a lot of them go to drinking and taking other things because they don't know what else to do.
Self-diagnosing.
They self-diagnose.
Not diagnosing, medicating. My bad.
Medicating, yeah. There's a little suspicion there that she was doing that because it was hidden and nobody really knew about that. For me, I started when my mom did pass away. As all know, I drank a lot. I'd go home, I'd do what I needed to do, and I'd come home and start numbing that pain. But that led to me having issues with my teeth, and that was very stressful. It was very expensive, and I'm still dealing with it to this day. I have gum disease, periodontal disease, and I had to get surgery, and it's not an easy surgery, and I was traumatized by it because I wasn't knocked out and I was feeling that pain. I had to stop them when they were cutting my gums and cutting those nerves and stuff to go and build up that bone down there. It was terrible. I knew that was the thing that started me on my health journey, and to this day I'm still struggling with it. I've had that surgery twice now, and I'm still fighting it. I'm not going to say it's because of the smoking or whatever, because there's a lot of factors that go into gum disease. Pretty diligent about my
dental health.
Because every night you're like, go brush your teeth. Because you were saying that last night. Go brush your teeth.
I got to brush. I got to floss. I got to do that more than twice a day. But just recently, I went to the dentist and to go get my regular cleaning. I get 4 cleanings a year, and my numbers just went crazy. When the pockets, they measure the pockets around your teeth, and they went in the back. I always expect them to be a little bit worse, but this was I went into reverse, and the dentist and I we're at a crossroads. There's some underlying thing
that they need to fix,
that we need to address. So she actually sent me to a doctor that she goes to. She just started going to. That's the doctor dentist goes to, because they've tested my mouth for the bacteria. So we think it's something within my body that, because I get laser treatments, I've gotten deep cleanings. I have the mouth rinse and everything. So everything I can do to fight that bacteria in my mouth, it's just really aggressive. And I don't want to lose my teeth, but there's days I'm just pull these bitches, pull all of them, just give me some dentures. I'm tired because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of maintenance.
But you don't want to do that. I recently, everybody know, I got a new smile.
Gorgeous. Beautiful.
Yeah. But it was, the thing is, sugar is my drug of choice, and sugar is a drug. It changes the way it affects your body, a lot of things. And because of that, I had a lot of cavities because sugar just is not good on your teeth. And what happened is, every country I was in, I left a tooth.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, because at the point, most countries, it's free dental other than America. Let me just say that. It's the most
regular medical thing you have to do.
And so all my teeth in the back, one would come out on one side, then I'd chew on the other side, then that one would have a problem, then it's painful, and they're like, save it, no, take that bitch out, it hurt too much. And so I got to the point where I didn't have any teeth in the back on the top, and it was starting to affect the way my digestion worked, just so many things. And
they say all disease starts right there
in the mouth. And then when I went to bite on something that was hard, and then my front tooth cracked, I said, in the back, nobody can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just, and it was really a thing where you go, what am I doing? Everything's good. You get dressed, you wash your stuff. And what about this? I made a point to say, I got to get me some money together. And I started doing my research about where to go. When I was living in Europe, a lot of people went to Turkey because Turkey is cheap when it comes to Europe, because Europeans dental is actually subsidized. So it's cheaper than a dental would be in Mexico that's based on American prices.
Right.
And I know they're very good. And so I did my research and went over it. I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
It's the best thing I ever did for myself. And I kept my teeth. The teeth that I had, I kept. They didn't pull all my teeth. They made sure to take care of things, and they made me a beautiful smile. The lady who was doing my teeth is a lady who actually teaches other dentists. And she actually writes papers and stuff. So the way she did my smile was at one point we were talking about how white we wanted it. And it was pretty white. She said, your teeth are naturally white. But I said, but I want it white. And she said, well, you don't want to look natural. I said, I don't care about looking natural. I want to look like I paid for my teeth. So we had a compromise. We went one step up from where she wanted it. And I think they look pretty natural.
They look
You know what's funny?
Beautiful.
I'm not even sure if she'd went up one because there's no way for me to
lie to you.
There's no way for me to know.
Exactly.
She probably said, okay. And then it's like when I work on sound, the people like turn it up and I act like I'm turning it up. How's that sound? Oh, that's good. I didn't turn up nothing.
She just told us.
I was about to say, let me find out. Let me find out you've been doing that to her.
No, I know she has. A couple times I'm like, whatever. Chill.
Turn me up in my headphones. How's that? Oh, that's good.
It's fine. Whatever.
I remember when I realized I wasn't young anymore. Like literally. There was one point when I was in Paris, I wanted to go pick up Sarah. What I decided to do was do a turnaround. So I took a flight that leaves in the morning. On Saturday morning, I get to Houston the same day. And then the next day in the afternoon, the flight goes back to Paris.
Oof.
Girl, I had literally for a week, I was out of commission.
Of course.
And that's the first time that ever happened. I go, I guess it ain't like it. When I say out of commit, I've never felt that. That's when I really realized, okay, I've crossed over some kind of threshold. I really crossed over a threshold. And it's been downhill ever since.
Yeah.
It's been downhill ever since.
When you guys were talking about that, it started to make me realize a whole lot of stuff. Like when I thought that I was having anxiety, which I do have anxiety, but when I thought that I was having anxiety was when I got on a escalator and I was going up. Never had problems with escalators at all, period. And then I was trying to go up and I felt like I was about to fall back. When I actually went to the doctor, I suffered from vertigo. Never knew. So there's a lot of stuff that as I got older, I'm like, man, that used to never bother me. Or looking over if you're up real high on something like that. All that stuff now, baby, I wish I would try to climb a mountain and look over. And the people that go to New York, if they hang off, they got this thing where you can go and you can like strap in, you go all the way up to the top. And people actually literally hang over just to look. I would have been passed out.
No, that's white people stuff.
No, there was some black folks that did.
Okay, them black folks who ain't never had no trauma.
Because they don't have a healthy dose of fear.
Okay, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I fear and I don't want to add to it. That's the reason why I don't watch scary movies. Now, I don't want to pay to be scared. There's a lot of emotions that I would like to revisit,
But not that one.
That is not one of them. It's so funny because when I explain an anxiety attack to somebody, I said, imagine somebody scares you and you go, oh, but that feeling stays.
Yeah.
I said, that's an anxiety attack. So I have anxiety a lot of times about a lot. I get overwhelmed very easily because I take it all in.
I'm hypersensitive.
I take it all in. I can't take it in slowly. And I'm glad that actually my friend Meza, the one we just talked about, I was in Paris and I wasn't okay. We're just not okay. And she said, we're going to go somewhere. I want you to meet me somewhere. I was like, girl, I didn't want to get up out of bed. And so I met her somewhere. So in Paris, in every neighborhood, there's a mental health center. I met her in the front. I didn't know where we was going. And she said, we're going to go in. So we went in and she said, she made us an appointment and I talked to somebody right away. And they actually put me up on medicine. It's interesting because I've been in the French mental health system and the American mental health system. Very interesting.
What's the difference?
Well,
what the difference is?
The difference is very important.
First of all, availability, because we don't have it like that here.
Yeah, at all.
The best thing that we have do now have, teledocs. So that's the only thing that kind of saves a lot of people.
Yeah. So in France, the word sentimental is a French word. Sentimental actually means your mental health. It's the word for mental health. Their vacations are important because it's like you recharge. If you're on social assistance, they give you vouchers to go on vacation. You ain't even got a job. You get subsidized. You got free housing and free everything. We still sending you on vacation. That's how important it is.
I need to move.
I need dual citizenship.
And I understand that because you have to unplug. We do not unplug here.
No, we don't.
Not enough.
We don't.
And it's affecting a lot of people's health. But we still get up. The first thing you do is you're going to look at that phone. A lot of people sleep right next to their head. That's not healthy. That's why I put mine on the nightstand. You have to move that phone away, even to go to sleep at night. Those phones need to go. You're right. People don't unplug, but you have got to make the conscious choice to unplug. And I've been trying to do that because my sleep is affected, right? It's hard. We're in menopause age, and sleep is one of those things that but I stopped fighting it. I used to get so aggravated and just like you work yourself up into things like I'm not gonna fall asleep, I can't fall asleep, But now it's gotten better because I take that phone. The phone goes down at about 8:30. I'm not looking at it anymore. The TV goes off, and you need to get that relaxation in. And if I do happen to wake up 3:00 in the morning, I just don't get frustrated about it anymore. Get up and do something.
My phone at 10:30, it goes. Don't call me after 10. At 10:30, my phone is going to go to grayscale. It gives me like 30 seconds before it's going to go to grayscale. It goes to grayscale, and I have the option to cancel it. And I have in the past canceled it, but lately I've just been letting it go to grayscale, and I put it down and I go to sleep.
Can you explain what grayscale is?
I was going to say, for blind people in my head, can you explain?
So grayscale it's a part of your phone. It's a part of the settings. At a certain time, you can set up sleep. It's an option on there. You have to just find the sleep setting, and you can set it to go off at 10:30 and come back on at 7. So when my phone goes on Do Not Disturb, which is the grayscale, it goes on Do Not Disturb at 10:30, and at 7:00 it comes back to color. It literally goes gray. Everything I see is gray. It takes the color out of it. Because it takes the color out of it, I no longer enjoy scrolling. I don't enjoy scrolling. I don't enjoy playing the little games that I play on the phone.
That's good.
It's everything out of it. So then I just put my phone down. So that works. And at 7:00, it comes back. So unless you're in my favorites, you can't get through after 10:30. But most people know not to call me after 10. So you can use the phone, but if you're not in my favorites, you're not going to get through. If you send me a text message, I'll see it at 7:00 in the morning. I usually wake up about 5:30, but I won't reply back to it because I have been intentional about letting it stay on Do Not Disturb until 7:00. So
you just show me the setting in the phone. I think
I
that's
will.
an awesome
I will.
idea.
Yeah. And
How did you learn about this? TikTok.
Just fooling. No, when I got the phone, just fooling around. No, when I got the
TikTok
phone, just
University.
fooling around on the phone. It is in the settings. It's in the alarm part of it. And you just set up the alarm. I have several alarms, but my main alarm is 10:30 to 7. The Do Not Disturb is the main one. And that's what I do. I always fight my sleep. I'm going to fight my sleep. Even though I love sleep, at nighttime, I fight my sleep because I want to see what's going on in the world, which is nothing because everybody is asleep. But I'm learning not to fight my sleep. And it helps a lot.
Not to cut you off, Kim, but you know what's so funny about that? When my phone wasn't working, I did actually get a chance to go to sleep. For real. Yeah. I didn't know what you're talking about. I cracked my phone. And that broad just decided she was going to go on Do Not Disturb. How about we going to do that? You're not going to break me no more. But those few days, I really did get rest. No scam likely calls. But then again, no family calls, no business calls until I took it back to the place. And they were like, yes, so ma'am, yeah. You just want to put this back on Do Not Disturb. I was like, ooh, okay. Yeah. Embarrassing, but
and
hey, now I know it's...
And I'm sure you can put in your favorites. I have 3 people that are not family that are in my favorites that if they need me, they can always get through and wake me up. But again, they know.
I tell my daughter, we have this conversation. I said, baby, who's the first person you call if there's an emergency? She said 911. Okay, great. What's the second call you make?
Good one. Because what do the people say? If this is an emergency, please hang up and call 911.
You know, it's on fire, baby. I can't help. Can you call the fire department?
Yeah, don't call
me
first.
Baby. Don't call me first.
But no, if people need me, if you need me, like my kids know they've known since they were little kids, like unless it's important. But again, sleep has always been so important to me that it was important to them. Like they had a bedtime probably until they left my house. 7:30 until they were in middle school. Even from the time they were born, they're going to bed. I don't care what happens. When they got to middle school and high school, it was about 9:30, 10 o'clock. They're going to bed. Now, Kobe might not have gone. He's always done the same thing. He's always stayed up late, just watch TV or whatever. He's always stayed up late, but playing games, that's his favorite thing to do. But yeah, sleep is important.
You know, and I've gotten older. I realized how important
you have to prioritize.
Well, it's like your phone. If you don't charge it,
Right.
if you don't turn it off every once in a while, it will not function.
Most people probably don't get 8 hours. That's the goal.
But
it's not realistic. Again,
it's not just sleep. It's the type of sleep.
No,
it's like a winding down, not a falling asleep on the couch, but a conscious winding down of your life.
Because people don't realize that sleep is tied to, of course, your mental health, your physical health, right? And for me, I think one reason why sleep is so important is because I grew up, my father has mental health issues, certifiable mental health. When you were saying back when they didn't know how to, he's gone to mental health facilities. You should see aliens and talk about aliens and just different stuff, right? Now, one time my mom said, ask your daddy if he still hears voices. And I said, Mom, I want to know, do you still hear voices? And he was like, no, I woke up one morning and they were gone and I missed those. He's still my dad with this personality, but his mental health, he's older. He's not hearing voices. He doesn't hear any of that, but that growing up. So mental health to me, as a child, I was introduced to someone with a mental health issue. A lot of people don't grow up watching for aliens or little people coming in the room, operating on him. I can remember staying awake, trying to make sure that no one went into their bedroom to bother him because, and by no one, I meant aliens. So as a child, trying to just protect him because I didn't know what mental health was. I told him one time and he cried as an adult. The reason why I listen to people so well, I don't just listen with my ears, I listen with my eyes. And I think the spirit that I have to, people will confide in me. People will confide some of the craziest things in me all the time. But it's because as a child, I learned how to listen with my eyes and just give somebody a safe space.
Intuitive.
He cried. Yeah,
Intuitive.
he cried when he heard that because he felt bad because he felt like he traumatized me. He didn't traumatize me.
It made you tap into something in yourself that was deeper than what you should, that you might not have been able to access, that you were able to access as a child that most public don't do until they're older.
Yes, I've always been empathetic because I felt because of him. So
My empathy gets me in trouble, actually. I think I'm too empathetic. That's the reason why I have to be careful. Things jump off on me.
That's right.
It literally, and I try not to do that to other people because you always treat people the way you feel like you feel, just like you will treat people in your love language because that's the way you think you want to be filled.
Right.
So when I'm around people who have I get overwhelmed very easily because I can feel it. I can literally feel what they're feeling.
I am.
And it's I suffer from mental health, depression, really strong depression, and I realized that my mother suffered from it too, but she was self-medicating. You know, and now that I look back on it, I can see it very clearly.
Right.
I can see it very clearly. Some of the addictions, gambling, or as much as you can gamble in Texas where you don't have really gambling, or taking the Xanax or whatever it is, but you don't have to take it every 3 hours. You're supposed to take it when you need it, Mama.
You were talking about, when we spoke about this before, how we did not have language for what it is. Right?
Yes.
So that empathy thing, Shell, I have that too. And and sometimes it comes off as me being cold, but I have to have boundaries.
Yeah.
And I have to have boundaries with people, and that includes family.
Yeah.
And sometimes because it really does affect your mental health. So with you already having some things going on with you, and then to have that empathy part, that has to be debilitating. Because it feels debilitating sometimes.
It is. Yeah, I want to thank my doctors right now. Shout out to the doctors. We don't have to suffer from a lot of things.
Right.
Like when I see people have pain, take something for it. Now I understand pain, that there's a limit, but you don't have to suffer.
Right.
You don't have to suffer. If you're having a hard time focusing, there's medicine for that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think when you're an empath, like I always go home drained.
Very.
Because my coworker always says, this is the office where people come just to talk. Like your office is always busy. And it's not, they come in and they talk. But when they talk, whatever, sometimes they don't even just tell me. I just feel it, right? When I go home, I'm drained. I'm so mentally drained. And when it gets so bad, when I'm full, I can't cry, but I'll get in the bathtub. And I'll have to soak in the bathtub with Epsom salt to get it.
Are you practicing boundaries? You like to touch the fire.
Yeah, let me say this. I don't look at it as touching the fire. I don't look at it as that talking, letting people. I look at it as being a safe space for people. But I have a way that I deal with it. I do. And I also have learned to better protect myself spiritually and mentally. I don't want to go into that too much, the spiritual part of it, but I am better. I protect myself a little bit better. I do get full, and like I do take spiritual baths once a week. I have to. It helps me release, but yeah. I'm a safe space. Listen, I am a safe space, and I want to remain a safe space. And I understand you have to have boundaries, but sometimes being a safe space, I don't let them be.
And it's going to be certain people that I'm going to allow into that space because it's very draining. I don't have that way, like you say, to whatever you do to get rid of it. I have to create the boundaries because it's a lot. And it could be a stranger walking in the room, but I'm going to feel your energy.
Yeah.
And if your energy is something that I can't deal with, then I'm leaving. And that's happened to me several times.
Yeah, but what is when it's your husband and your child? You can't, and it's hard to. I was a certain way.
You save it for certain people. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I save it for certain people.
Yeah.
My kids don't really drain me though. My kids don't drain me, but if they need me,
Yeah.
yeah.
My kid drains me only because of his age.
Yeah.
And my new thing that I've learned how to say.
You're an old mama.
I am.
You ain't had the energy like you did when you was younger.
None. But the new thing that I have started doing is I'm a person that internalizes stuff. And I think about stuff. Then I get emotional because I'm going through menopause right now. I just had to learn how to say, you know what, it's too much. And it's just that simple. It's I'll tell my son, it's too much. And then that way I'm shutting down this portion of the conversation and we can revisit it later. Because right now you are doing extra. So we got 2 different hormones in the house. We got puberty and we got menopause.
Yeah.
They go on crisscross and everybody think they're right. Everybody think they're right. So I have to just go ahead and say, it's too much. And then even he thinks about it now and he'll come back and be like, is it still too much? Can we talk? Okay, yeah, now we can talk. Because we both had a decompression time.
Right.
I give him that because we learned that from his counseling. Brooklyn takes medicine for ADHD. And when they first started giving him the medicine and stuff, he was like, Mom, I don't like how it makes me feel. I said, see, it's not really making you feel. This is what you are learning from these other kids. Yours is for focus. Yours is to help you to focus on your schoolwork and all of this other kind of stuff. Dealing with a child that has would that be considered an issue?
Yeah, it is an issue. If you're being medicated, you have to have an official diagnosis.
I mean, you know what I'm saying
do you
when I
mean by
say
an
that?
issue though?
A mental issue?
Yeah, would that still be considered a mental
Of
issue?
course, he's diagnosed and medicated.
No, but you understand why I'm a little confused, though, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, if it's focused, it's not really mental, but now that y'all explain it that way, it's still under the category of.
Right. Because so many times
Okay,
we think
category.
like mental health is just like somebody's schizophrenic,
Right.
schizophrenic or
Manic
just
depressive,
whatever.
bipolar.
Right. We figured those people have, that's mental illness, but mental illness, that category is so vast.
But we've come a long way from
Because
see
now
the
we
people
know.
on the street, they're just crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw. They're
But
just
now we
crazy.
understand
And now
that-
we understand.
I once heard somebody say, I don't use the word, I can't remember who it was. He said, I don't use the word crazy because it's dismissive.
It is.
It's a celebrity.
Dave
I can't remember.
Chappelle.
Yeah.
Yes, it's dismissive. And once he said it, I started thinking like, you know what? That is dismissive. So I'm mindful of saying people are crazy. I don't want to dismiss anything. But like you were saying about Brooklyn, like you'll say you need to come back. Sometimes I have to, when we started having hard conversations, Sean and I started having these hard conversations about my mom or just hard conversations about our relationship in general. I would have to tell him, I don't have the mental capacity to talk to you right now.
That's
about
fair.
That. And he'll drop it.
Decompression time works too. When he gets out of school, he gets a decompression time. And that is his
Everybody
time
needs
from leaving off of his school van, coming into the house without me immediately saying, I need you to take out the trash. After you take out the trash, make sure you get rid of your homework. After you do your homework, I need you to take your bath. You know what I'm saying? He at least gets an hour and a half, because that's what the doctor says. They don't need much more than that, especially at his age. Not right now. Give him about an hour and a half to decompress. If he wants to play in his video game, let him play in his video game. Or if he wants to, whatever it is, go outside, whatever. An hour and a half. And it does make a difference. I noticed it. Once we were consistent with it, and that was the thing. I had to be consistent and follow through.
As parents, we don't think the kids need that. And I think that's very important that you learn something that our kids didn't get.
No.
Because when they got home, it was there was no decompression time. So that's important.
You
That's,
decompress at night.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
I wanted to say this, and I want to urge people to have compassion and grace for people who have addiction. People seem to think that people want to be drug addicts. It's a choice. It's an addiction. An addiction that is something that at one point they no longer can control because their body's taking over. And I used to have so much disdain for people who were drug addicts, like they were weak and just not even worthy of compassion.
Wow.
And older I get in having addiction in the family, understanding,
This family doesn't have some of that.
Yeah, but and we all make, it's funny, crackhead and crack whatever, but it's not.
Everybody got one.
Everybody got one.
But you need
I was
to.
about to say, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Kim's special.
We do have family members that are going through addictions. And I've never spoke on it, but you're right. You said something about Xanax earlier.
Yeah, I did.
I probably in my 40s, I started taking Xanax, prescribed by the doctor, right? And then I ran out and I began to have withdrawals. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And it's not the physical. I used to tell my coworker, I feel like if I tap my teeth, they'll break. And she would look at me like I was crazy because she couldn't understand, but that was a symptom of it. As soon as I got all of that purged out of my body, I will never take another one.
But you understand, some people like that. Some people need it to cope. And I understand addiction because I have an addictive personality, which is one of the reasons why I refuse to take anything that will actually try to get it there. Because I know how I am. I know exactly how I am.
Exactly. I do too.
I have a very addictive personality, so I have to stay away from certain things. I know it for sure.
Such as
So,
sugar.
no, sugar I can't stay away from. It's literally my drug of choice. But I know when I have to take medicine for certain things like anxiety, I have to watch how much I take, because if it makes you feel a certain way, but I have to I'm very mindful of it. I'm very mindful. So I only take it when I need it. And if I'm taking it when I don't necessarily need it, because I want to feel a certain way to go to bed, I don't take it. I'm very conscious of it. So it's something that, especially knowing that my mom had addictive personalities. And I noticed my daughter's starting to have it.
But see, a lot of people don't know that they have an addictive personality. They just think they like it. Like a lot of people really, accountability and addictive personalities and even empathy, like these are things that people don't really know about. We're just now knowing, but a lot of times people don't know that they have these things.
There's words for it now.
Right.
How about that?
There are words. And we didn't use those words back then.
Oh, especially not addictive personality.
Yeah. I was just thinking about some of the things I learned from my mom or my family. Like you couldn't get in the bed dirty. So you had to have a bath before you get in it. You couldn't even sit on the bed with your outside clothes on.
Listen,
That
I
would be
was
amazing
just
one.
with Parker the other day, and I came in. And I sat on his bed. Did you sit on my bed with your outside clothes on? I was
Exactly.
like, I said, now, I don't know where you got that from because I never talk like that. Like we had play clothes when we were younger.
Yeah.
Where did you learn that? I don't know, but that's just gross. Mom, get off my bed. And I'm like, I don't even know where you got that from.
All right, that's like I take my shoes off at the door.
Me too.
I'm not going to walk through that house. Shoes. I think when I came in here yesterday, I kicked off my shoes right outside your door, but I did take them off.
All the shoes were
I
over
do.
there piled.
My shoes, Kelly gets so mad at me because I take my shoes off before I go in my room because I know where they've been.
You're just tracking all that stuff.
It ain't been as many places as it can be when you're in New York or something like that.
You ain't lying, my God.
I wouldn't wear those in a building. You know what I mean? Like,
Just leave them outside. I'll buy some more. I'll buy some more shoes.
Paris was no better.
hey, you don't have to tell me.
All these big cities with all these big rats.
I understand why. Remember, we had play clothes. We
Take off your school clothes.
We take them off. You don't do that. You don't do that. No. In our family, it was baths. Get your ass in
the
the
tub.
water and soak it. Period. Which is funny. Then in the morning, you have to get up and take a shower to go. Ain't I clear? I just slept.
No, I always shower. If I shower at night, I shower in the morning too.
And now I noticed that my child, because she grew up with her dad, and they have different hygiene things. He's Arab, and both my husband's Arabs. They do showers. They don't do baths.
You have to remember, Sean, not everybody grew up privileged in the U.S. and to have a bathtub.
Okay.
When I lived in Tobago, I told y'all I've lived
Many. Yeah.
many different lives as a
Yes.
child. When we were in Tobago, there was a tank with water. You could not run a shower. You could not sit in a bath. You had a bucket, and then we had to go down the hill, fill up the bucket, so you're not using that tank water.
Yeah.
Because there was a service, a free government one down the street. Take that bucket back up the hill, warm up some water in the kettle, so you can have somewhat of a It was a lot, and we did it every day. It's not like we skipped. We showered every day, or took bucket baths, as we call them.
Yeah.
So that soaking thing, I understand it, but that's not something that happened when I was younger.
Let me tell you the best bathing experience I've ever had.
I love a shower outside.
No, it was a room full of women.
See what I'm saying? You just throw shit out there like that. And I'll be like, huh?
No, it's very interesting. I'm in Morocco, right? And the Moroccans don't have showers in their home.
Being the shantytown queen.
No,
Shantytown.
even the shantytown has a hammam. And so they bathe at the hammam. You go about every 2-3 days. It's interesting because I asked the mother, I said, what if you don't have the money? She's like, you got to have the money.
Oh, you have to pay.
Of course you have to pay. It's a business.
Okay.
It's a business, yeah.
Oh, like a bathhouse.
It's a bathhouse, yeah.
Well, say bathhouse.
She said hammam.
I said hammam.
But I didn't know hammam.
So we were at a beach that had a festival. And so we had out on the beach, you in a tent. I'm not really that kind of girl, but when in Rome, you do as the Romans do. So we wanted to go to the hammam because it's been 3 days I've been out here on the beach and all this. We get there and during the day it's for women. At night it's for men. The men are waiting outside because they want to get in. They're coming home from work. And we beg them to allow us to come in. Lord have mercy.
What?
It was the best bath experience I've ever had. In the beginning, I remember when I first got to Morocco, I had a problem getting naked in front of women. I mean, at the point, I just take it off. I don't care. Because literally everyone's there. The little boys are there. I bet they have a lot of really bad porn about that. Because they stay in there until they're a certain age. With their moms, they got to shower with their moms, and everybody's there. The older women, the younger women. I'm sure that's how the women choose their daughter-in-law. Oh, I see. They have a conversation with you. They showering.
Okay, here's my question: is this group shower, Turkish bath? I get it. I understand it.
No, I need to know what happened and what made it the best shower. I'm sorry.
I want to know health-wise. Like, it's so many people in there. Health-wise, I get it. Soap and water, but there's such thing as athlete's feet.
No, but it's clean. There are people whose job it is to clean. There's 2 rooms. There's a hot room and a cold room, and there's etiquette.
Okay.
One of the etiquette is you do not remove your underwear. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't get that memo.
Bucket naked.
No, it was just that you take for granted certain things. And that's the first time I realized I was taking for granted showering. Because when I got in there and you go into the hot room, it's really hot and has hot water and you steam up. Then you go to the cold room and they give you this kind of like oily thing you put on your skin and you literally see the dirt just rub off. It was like a religious experience. It felt so good. And then you go between the hot room and the cold room with the hot water and the cold. And
I feel like we need to go.
How many times do you go back and forth?
As many as you need to get the hot water because all the hot water is in the one room. And then the other water is cold. The first time I went to the hammam with Sarah's dad's mom, she was talking to the neighbors. And you have 2 pots. You have the hot water and the cold water. She took the hot water. She talking to the neighbor, hey, and she threw the hot water on. I think she did that shit on purpose.
She threw the
Could
hot
be.
water on you?
Yes. When I say hot,
I'm steaming.
Girl, she thought your chocolate was different.
and then when she realized, oh my gosh, because she wasn't paying attention. But I'm like, man, you never do that again.
Elise, so you say you go back and forth. Is it until that oil runs clear, then you know that you're clean, or just until you feel clean?
Until you feel clean. Until that oil, when you put that stuff on there, you literally see it.
So how long is this Turkish bath typically on average? About an hour.
You're in there about an hour.
Wow.
But it's a process. You go in there first and you disrobe and there's a whole process of that. You have to go in a certain place to take off your clothes and then you have to rinse off before you go in.
Okay.
There's a whole process.
Okay, because
That's what
again, I'm thinking health-wise.
Give us the quick. You go in, you take off your clothes.
You have a booth that you take off your clothes in, and when you first come in, you pay, and then you have your utensils. Normally, if you don't have utensils, which is like normally a bucket and a scrubber and things like that, your own soap. You can bring your own, or you can buy it, but most of the time they bring their own.
Okay.
And then you go into the hot room. You sit in the hot room so your pores can open up. And the hot room has a well that has the hot water coming out.
Okay.
You sit in there until you sweat. Once you start sweating, that I don't know. You go to the other room and you start scrubbing. And when I say your dead skin will just, but if you don't go to the hot room first and you just start scrubbing, it will not come off.
Right.
And you see it and it just feels, it's just in the oil. There's some kind of thing they have. I don't even know what it's made of. It looks like oil to me because it has the color of
Like motor oil? Or like,
it's interesting. They have women there too who, if you want to scrub you, they can come and scrub you really good. That's nice. But they scrub your ass. It's not, you ain't got nothing left. And it's just very inexpensive. The first time was really weird to go, but then after time, you look forward to it. At one point, we went up to Fez. Fez has a natural spring that has some, they have the natural minerals in there. So we went up there and we went to the hammam up there, which, I mean, when I say you walk in, it feels like some kind of Sodom and Gomorrah. It was just so many people everywhere. And they have these huge columns. And in the middle, there's a huge pool. And that's where the natural spring of the natural oil are coming through. And there's people everywhere. I think it's like a Friday night. It's almost like a thing. And at one point, you have to get the water coming out of the spring. So there's a pool and the water's coming in. And some of the young people are actually holding their bucket up and not letting the old people come in. They still remember me now. I go in there and I push them all out the way and use my little Arabic to say, no. Then I ask the older lady, give me your bucket. I fill up her bucket. I say, okay, give me your bucket. And I go, hashma, which means you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, that sounds like what I say. Hush your mouth.
That's exactly what it sounded like. That's exactly what it sounded like.
Hush your mouth.
But that is a clean.
I'm gonna add that to my bucket list.
You know what? To go back to when you said that whole sweating thing, right? That's really important. And y'all know I have a sauna in there.
Yeah.
And I bought it, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago now. But I tell you, that sweat that you have that comes out of your pores, like you feel so cleansed. Like you feel like the toxins, like you feel it coming out of you.
How do you do that when you have menopause and you're going through hot flashes?
It doesn't matter.
It's different.
You don't feel it?
I was going to say it's totally
type.
different. And also, too, getting those toxins out of your body, it's healthy.
It's very healthy. You got to drink. You need to drink water.
Plenty of water.
You drink plenty of water. Do it.
Where am I going? I'm not
I'll start
going
drinking
nowhere.
plenty of water.
Yeah,
Drink
because
lots of water.
that's what I was sitting here thinking. I was like, I gotta ask Elise that way I can flush some of these meat toxins out of my body.
It ain't no joke though. Don't
I
like
ain't
you
made
have
it.
to be ready for it. Like it's the
And now with all the knowledge we have access to with the internet and TikTok, they've done studies about how saunas and
Very healthy.
cold. There's a whole bunch of things. There's certain cultures.
That cold shower is hard.
Yes.
Or
Right.
the hot plunge. My friend,
Cold plunge.
The cold plunge. One of those.
The
cold plunge. I really want one to put it in. I would put it in the back, but I was like, I really want one of those. Like, I really have to get me one.
Before you try the cold plunge, I think that you should do a 3-minute cryotherapy because it's very similar effects. And it's the same 3 minutes or whatever it is. So if you've never gone to cryotherapy,
You got to pay for that. The cold plunge is free.
no, it's not. You have to buy that.
Yeah, you got to buy the tub.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
not free.
fill
No,
everything
it's just
up.
a tub and just.
Okay, I mean, you can,
Okay.
but
Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying.
yeah, you
Darn.
can. But it start off with cold. If you do a cold shower, you have to like get out of bed, get in the cold shower. That's serious. It's hard. I've done it a couple times, and it's not easy to do. That cold shower is no.
But it's
joke.
about mental toughness. And I
It
realized the
is.
first time I took a damn shower,
ain't
I ain't tough at all. I swear to God, they don't put me in the interrogation. I'm going to tell it all. You put me in cold shower.
But the cold is good for inflammation. I know I have some inflammation. I can almost feel the inflammation in my body at this point. That cold therapy is really good for people. And a lot of athletes do. That's how they do 2-a-days, right? That's how they get in and they do the cold plunge, or cryotherapy and stuff. So I do encourage people, if you've never done a cold plunge or a cold shower, like first thing out of bed, go to cryotherapy. Yeah, you got to pay for it.
So it says typically between negative 150 Fahrenheit and negative 280 Fahrenheit for a short period of time.
It's cold.
The temperature can vary depending on the type of chamber used, with nitrogen chambers being colder than electric chambers. Nitrogen chambers can reach temperatures of negative 230 Fahrenheit. Electric can reach temperatures of negative 160 Fahrenheit. This cryotherapy is colder than a frozen lake or ice bath. The treatment is said to trigger the body's natural healing mechanisms. Some say it can have benefits such as improved energy, relaxation, and sleep quality. Let me look on Google.
You want to try
right
it?
now.
We can go today.
I'm not gonna knock it. I'm gonna let y'all try it.
When in Rome, you do it. Because I've taken.
We're in Anna.
Okay, when in Anna, you do as the Annans do. How
Anna
they do.
is a north suburb or north city of Dallas.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's a suburb. Okay,
Yes.
it's a suburb. Because
City.
the places I've been, I tried to try anything once.
Yeah. Have you tried it?
Yeah, and I haven't tried that, but there's things I've tried that really you do see a difference. You lately I've been trying, making sure I get enough magnesium changes. How come nobody told me magnesium
I've been
changes?
telling y'all that.
Yeah, magnesium.
That's why I started.
saying it.
Vitamin
Yeah.
D, vitamin K.
Yes.
These are all like Kim and I take a lot of for years, right? And I have a friend at work too. She and I are always doing taking natural supplements. And people ask us, what does it do? I'm like, I don't remember anymore. I read it up on it at the time. I decided to start taking it, and that's it. So look it up for yourself, because you should do your research too. Like, I just started taking sea moss gel. I made it. I went to Grenada. I brought some back. I'm telling you, between the soursop leaf tea I'm drinking every morning and the sea moss gel, my body was going through something. That's why I went to the dentist.
Yeah.
I had a rash on my face. It was really weird.
Your skin is extremely clear.
It is extremely clear now, but I've been taking that it's just been a couple of weeks, literally. And I feel so much better. Even, I bet if I went back to the dentist right now, I bet things are better than it was when I went.
Soursop alone is said to be stronger than chemotherapy. So soursop alone, it's 1,000 times stronger than chemotherapy.
Like, they have
done
the research on it.
Yeah.
So what's the actual? Why would you want to take something that's 1,000 times?
No,
it's stronger than the chemo instead of the healing instead of
not the actual mechanism of this.
But instead of taking chemotherapy, if you're doing holistic, you don't want to take chemotherapy. Drink the soursop tea.
Is it a detox, basically? Nobody knows.
I can't.
I'll research it.
But it is said to kill cancer cells.
Yeah.
Said to kill cancer cells
And
better
probably more.
than chemo.
And not all cancer cells either, if I remember correctly. Certain types of cancer cells that it kills more than others. So it's not for all cancer.
It's very
Do
important.
your research. Don't listen to me now. Do your research.
We are not doctors.
It's very important to know that cancer likes sugar. Cancer likes sugar. So if you eat any kind of thing that turns into sugar, pasta, rice, and you have cancer, it's feeding off of that. That's the first thing. And again, sugar is my drug of choice.
There is a fruit that will kill that. I told you that last night.
I need
to look it up. It's something that will
in my
kill
backyard.
that sugar craving.
But I love the feeling of it. I understand addiction, because when I taste something that tastes sugar sweet and it feels good, I just know exactly what it feels like. And then when you have to say I can't have it and what that feels like too.
Yeah.
Like, and then you're craving it and you have to have it.
It's a detox.
It's a drug.
You have to detox from sugar too. It's not an easy thing to do. Sugar is the most addictive thing on the planet.
Yes, Lord.
I have snacks in my office for incentives for the kids, and so many snacks. But one of them is, I love blow pops. And it's I think they're 2-pound bags of blow
Sour
pops.
apple. That's your favorite?
They're mixed. No,
watermelon
cherry.
is mine.
I like the cherry.
Yeah, but they're good. That's a good thing to do if you really want to sweet it or kind of.
But when people come in, since we've been back this summer, because we've been moving offices, but it's in my office, and people come in and say, how can you sit in here with this, out of eating all of that stuff up? One, I think about, this is not for me, it's for the kids. And then two, I'm like, I sit at a desk all day long. I can't sit here and eat sweets. I've done that in the past, and I'll just sit and eat because sometimes I feel pressure.
Yeah.
So I just sit, eat, and then it's hard for me to move.
Yeah.
The sugar crash is the worst.
It's the worst.
Crash I've ever experienced in my life. Yeah. I don't like it. I eat sugar, but I can't. I just.
Yeah.
What is your favorite form of sugar? Is it like a baked good, a candy, or what is it, or ice cream? What's your favorite sugar source?
Right now, mine. I'm sorry. Mine is popsicles. Every night before I go to bed, those little $2 that come in a
cheapies.
Yeah, the little cheap pops, ice pops or whatever. You just pop them. They sell them $2 or whatever. I will eat 6 of those before I go to bed. I love them, and I'm sure they're high in sugar too.
Well, they have some that are better. They have some that are not high in sugar or sugar free. Now I know.
I don't want no sugar free popsicle.
It's a whole nother thing.
No.
That's my favorite though. Right now, anyway.
Me, it's cookies. Oreos. If they go out of business, I will cry.
First of all, Oreo's been doing too much lately. Do you know how many different kinds they have now?
And then I'm
carrot cake.
I know.
Lemon,
Ew.
happy birthday,
Carrot
cake, Oreos. Yes, they do. Seriously,
gluten-free?
a whole section.
What the
dipped,
gluten-free?
chocolate, white dipped, all of that kind of stuff.
Man, I love them.
My new sugar addiction is called, they're Kazam bars.
Kazam.
By I don't know, you gotta say it like that too.
Kazam.
Damn.
Yes, it's by
Kazam, like
Hostess.
the alien that was the Martian that was in the.
Oh yeah, that was funny. No, his name was Kazoo.
Kazoo. You're right. Kazoo.
Damn, we old. Anyway, it's like a combination of 3 things. It's a hoe, because of the kind of chocolate that Hostess does on the outside. Yes. With the best taste ever. And then inside it has a like a brownie and then a caramel inside the brownie. What?
It's
Yeah.
a Little Debbie snack.
No, Hostess. I brought one. I'll show y'all what it is.
It sounds
Kazam.
terrible, actually, but
It
I don't
actually
like the
tastes
wax
good.
chocolate. But you're right. I think I've gone through different sugar phases
Stages,
of
yeah.
love. If you ask me right now, I'll tell you, give me a chocolate chip cookie is my favorite thing.
Yeah.
The best chocolate cookie ever.
Yes.
But I've been through, because you and I have gone, ooh, the candy bars, like the Score
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah.
Ooh, a
Yeah.
symphony bar.
Yes.
Symphony bars.
Ooh,
You
symphony
got
bars.
money.
Take
buy
five.
Symphony.
What?
Take 5. That was a good one
Listen.
too.
That thing like
Take
$8.
Five. Take Five is probably my favorite.
Because that's everything. That has a whole
everything in
bunch of
it.
stuff in there.
And it's so hard to find them now.
Somebody was talking about
Gross.
almond joy.
I
And
never like.
What?
I know you were
Sometimes
talking
you
about
feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
I know you were talking about keeping Arby's in business, but I was talking to somebody. They were like, "Who keeps buying these almond joys?" And I'm like, "I don't fucking know, because it's why would anybody want that shit?"
And you know what's so funny? I can eat real coconut, but I cannot do imitation coconut. It's something about the
disgusting.
texture in my mouth, and it just don't feel right.
I ain't met a candy bar
You-
and like.
What
No.
about? Is it called peppermint patties? When
No, I
last
like
time you saw
peppermint
one of
patties.
those?
I don't know.
When's the
I
last
don't-
time
do
y'all
they
saw
sell
a
them
chunky?
anymore?
Do y'all
Remember
remember
those
chunky?
things?
Oh
So,
yeah.
Remember those Andes? Remember when you go to
Oh,
Olive
those are
Garden?
always good.
Yeah.
Give me all
Yeah.
of them.
Girl
Yeah.
place. I buy them in the bulk. You know what I'm saying? Love those
They still
things.
sell peppermint patties.
They do. Again,
'Cause I've
who's
seen
keeping
the
them in
commercials for
business?
'em.
Who's keeping them in business? That's
Yeah,
what I'm
who
trying to
is?
figure out.
Well, Lise, obviously.
No, I know I don't buy them. I was just wondering. It just came across my mind, like the
Oh.
little silver package. But I
Yes.
haven't-
Like, yeah, no,
I've
they
always
keep
liked-
them the cool taste of a
Okay, let's
peppermint
get back
patty.
to health. Sugar's got to go, guys. We've got.
Well, it
to
ain't gonna
stop
never
the
go.
sugar.
Everything
Quiet
in
with your
moderation.
sacrilege.
Okay.
Okay, let me just say
Everything-
this. People always say that, and I remember we had this discussion. Other countries do eat certain things. French have the best buttery pastries ever. Everything in moderation.
Okay, but we're not moderate country.
No, we're not.
We have to add things to our food to make it taste better, more addictive. Do you think you ate better when you were in Europe?
Of course.
You did eat better.
Yeah, eat better.
So
I mean, I did too. When I was in Germany, I ate really good.
The food is
This
healthy.
time, that food is not like ours.
You're just having access to certain things at certain times.
Okay.
Because you can't. When I was in France, it's a little different now. There wasn't vending machines everywhere. There was no vending machines in the subway at all. You'd have to go out to get anything. Now they have these little coffee shops with maybe a pastry, but food wasn't accessible.
Access was different.
You're completely different.
Okay.
And then at night, everything closed. I can't go to a McDonald's at 10 o'clock at
It's
night.
like out of my.
And my husband, when he wants something, he'll make it because where he comes from, he's from the country. You can't, ain't no store. He loves French fries.
I
Fast
started
food.
saying that I was going to start making my own things, growing my own garden and making my own
a lot of
things.
work.
It is a lot of work, but at the same time, I want to know what's going into my body. I like Greek yogurt with honey, but I know that I can make my own yogurt now because there's a little machine, whatever. I can make my own yogurt. So that's what I want to, I just haven't had the time to do it, but that's what I'm trying to move towards, making my own food. Cooking more. I'm more intentional about cooking too.
Yeah, yogurt comes from Bulgaria. I was somewhere and they had Bulgarian yogurt, but it was like 5 times the price. And coffee comes from Yemen. I always think if I'm in Bulgaria, I bet they got the best sugar, and I bet if I'm in Yemen, they have the best because that's where it came from. But everything changes over time when it moves away from the original place
Right,
it came
right.
from. So we probably won't even recognize the yogurt. I didn't buy it because it was 5 times the price.
Right,
A version.
right.
I'm allergic
No,
to high prices, and I try to make better decisions. Europeans or people who are not from here gauge their weight by their clothes. If my clothes are getting a little too tight, next couple of days I just back off. We just buy bigger clothes.
I was gauging my weight at one point with waist beads. I was getting tighter and tighter, and I just finally took them off because I'm not about to keep cutting my circulation off, and I know I need to stop eating certain foods. But I'm trying to move towards making my own food, growing my own food, and cooking more. I don't really eat meat. Right now, I'm supposed to be spiritually fasting this weekend. Eliminating meat out of the diet helps so much, and I feel so much lighter without all of this meat in my system. I like dairy, but yeah, you're right.
The whole meat thing, I'm with you. I don't eat a lot of meat. I'm making salmon because I eat a
No, it's
lot
just
of
more.
seafood.
Everybody's body's different. For me, I feel the best when I have a really good protein source,
There are other ways to get protein.
but not in the same way. I need the iron. The red meat, it's just I need it. My body feels differently when I just.
Yeah,
And
that's
see, if I eat
understandable.
too
Right.
much beef, then I feel it.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I'm
can't
saying?
eat
I'm
much
like,
beef.
oh,
It sits there for too long.
We grew up chicken on Monday, chicken on Tuesday, chicken on Wednesday, chicken. Yeah. I have the good fortune of having an alpha male brother who was an ex-athlete who always excels at everything he does. So he's decided, he's always kept his girlish figure. Sometimes when athletes finish and they gain weight, he's never been that kind of guy. So in the last year or so, he's decided he runs every day. At 51, he runs 5 miles every day.
That's good. It keeps his heart going.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. And then he says, it's just easy. Yeah, okay.
And you know what's so bad?
Yeah.
Like we have to, getting back to the start with the health, like we have got to start working out. And strength training is way more important than cardio
Yes.
at this age. And Kelly and I had a discussion the other day. I'm like, I'm so tired of these. I went to my mother-in-law's house and their toilet is really low. But to get up on that or even to sit down on it, because I'm a taller person. So to get down and these knees don't work like they used to.
That's how it is at my apartment. I feel like I'm plopping down.
You feel like you're plopping down at a certain point.
So health, that's when you realize you gauge your health. So I've been to places where you have to squat too.
Yeah.
And normally I work it out, not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? But this, I could not for the life of me.
Get up.
I couldn't get down.
Right. You couldn't work it out.
I went 2 weeks without making an appearance.
Oh,
Wow,
no. Oh,
no.
2 weeks. And there was nothing to hold on to. And then you fall in it. Girl, when I say,
Get me on back to a flight. Get me back to the United States.
it's
Can I?
not, when in Rome, you do as Romans do.
But you didn't.
I couldn't.
Oh, you're right,
I
too.
could not. And you know how they do that squat? I call it the Asian squat. Or the Asian
Sumo squat.
Sumo squat.
Yeah, oh my God.
Okay, but listen, are you doing things to work on that? Because I'm
Now I am, because I didn't realize I had gotten to that point.
But look how young we are still. And relatively, if we're having problems now, if we don't take care of it right now, by the time we get for another 10 years in our 60s and 70s, it's going to be so much worse. I have this conversation with my sister all the time too. Your kids are going to be responsible because we are single people. We are single women. There's nobody to take care of us. And I don't want my kids to feel that responsibility like that.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I picked up swimming. Yeah. I started swimming. I love it. Even just getting up in the morning. Like I'll get up, the place opens at 6. I'm up at 5:30. My body's already naturally waking me up. I'm at 5:30 and getting there by 6. I'll do an hour and I'm up. Like I'm not going back home and resting. It's a full body workout. I get home, shower, cook some breakfast, out the door. I'm at work. My energy doesn't really wane until about 2:30. When I get home, I'm ready to go to sleep. Like I'm tired, but I have to eat dinner. My mom has to eat dinner. We eat, and I'm ready to go to bed. But I can't go to bed because if I go to bed, then I'm gonna wake up, and I don't want to wake up. But it's one of the best things I picked up doing.
But working up.
Let's go around and everybody tell what they're doing for their health, to make themselves better, to get over that hump.
I'll give you my routine. Okay. When I'm on routine, I've told you I've been off routine for a while. It's just been sporadic because of all the things going on in my family. I wake up. I thank the Lord. Sometimes I'll start doing the Wim Hof breathing. If you haven't done the Wim Hof breathing, you're inhaling about 30 times deep breaths, right? It's like a circular motion. You're inhaling, you're getting oxygen in your lungs. Your body's waking up. And then you do a long extended breath hold. And in that breath hold is a lot of times when I'm praying as well. But you know what? There's been times where I completely have forgotten that I'm even holding my breath. And I'm just having that conversation. So you do that. That's about 11. The whole process is about 11 minutes. I highly encourage you guys. It's on YouTube. Please try it. It does wonders for you.
It's probably one of the best things you've ever told me about.
Start doing it. And you do it, and then you get up and you start working out. Whether I'm doing weight, like a compound movement video off YouTube, or I get on the Peloton. And sometimes it's both, depending on how much time I have. I get up, go to work. I make sure we take walks hard when it's hotter outside. And then I'll go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week and I'll get a quick cardio session. And every now and then I might have a little energy on the way home and I'll stop at the gym and hit some weights. Now, in between all that, I will have juiced some spinach and berries and stuff to take with me. I have my supplements. I take a lot of different supplements, chlorella, spirulina. I take, vitamin D, vitamin K, burdock root, and a lot of herbs for the menopause. And I just recently told you I started taking the WhatsApp and the sea moss gel. And when I'm on my game, I feel amazing. That's hard, but that sauna, like when I feel, the other day I said, I came home and got in that sauna because I was listening to another podcast and it was about Ozempic. And she started talking about the things my body was going through. And she was talking about how when all else fails and she can't get her body to kind of relax, that sauna. And I got in that sauna, and you immediately feel like you've gotten those toxins out, and it's helping so much.
Every time you said a dollar sign went up. Corella.
Like the cartoons.
Peloton.
Listen.
I'm literally
If you don't invest in your health,
Right.
what do you have?
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for me.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for my kids and my
they won't have
grandchild
to take-
so they won't have to take care of me. I want to be around in a way that they're just coming to see me. I want to be an active grandparent.
You have to look at the bigger picture when you're working on your health.
Yeah.
One thing I can say that I'm very consistent with. I'm not consistent with supplements or anything like that, which I need to do better, especially because I'm going through menopause. But what I am consistent with, I will walk.
Yeah, you're walking.
I will walk. And not just when I'm doing my little deliveries and stuff like that. There is right below, I don't even think you ever noticed it too, right below where we stay, there's a little section it's got a bayou that goes all the way around. Yeah, I'll walk that. Okay. That's what I
You ain't
do.
afraid of snakes?
Huh? Girl, that's what make you walk faster. You see something coming at you, you don't stand there and look at it.
Walking is so important. When my blood pressure
I do
started getting
walk.
up, and the doc's okay, I'm gonna give you till such and such, and if it's not, I'm gonna put you on pills. I'm like, no. So when it's not 120 degrees outside, that walking did it.
Yeah. I had her to start walking with me, not all the time, but hey, look, come on, let's take a walk. Even if we take a quick little walk, let's just walk to the mailbox. For our apartment complex, the mailbox is like all the way in Egypt, or so she calls it.
But you have to do the math. Sometimes I think about this all the time. Okay, so I have a job where I sit all day.
Yeah.
Or I have a job I work, but I smoke. Which one's worse? It's exactly the same.
It's bad. They say
For your health. And so it depends. People always want to say this and that, but then they sit all day, never move, and they're sitting in front of
They
a...
say sedentariness is
It's just
smoking.
it's relative. So
We can definitely try that later. But I had to learn how to
and you'll
how to
like
just
it.
walk.
It's very relaxing.
It is.
It's very relaxing.
Maybe that'll help me sleep, guys, because I'm still at that point where
You know
I don't
what?
sleep
It,
yet.
and it goes both ways when I do the breathing, right?
Really?
You do it at night and you just chill, it helps you to go to sleep. But in the morning, it helps me to get ready for the workout. Yeah. So
the buzzword that I always hear lately is cortisol levels. Your cortisol levels. That breathing technique is one of the ways you can bring your level down, your stress level, because that's what it is.
So you're saying
cortisol.
Cortisol, which is your fight or flight. Right.
Yeah.
It's your stress.
Yeah.
And that can help bring breathing techniques. They recommend walking breathing techniques help to bring down your stress level. I always feel like I'm stressed out. And that's one of the things that you could have told me about, because I do that. And if I do it at night, I fall asleep in the middle of doing it.
Oh, that's good.
I fall asleep in the middle of doing it. But I also listen I listen to fairy tales at night too, so that helps. But that's just me.
I'm sorry, this is going to be off topic.
I can't sleep when it's completely quiet.
I know,
My mind races.
So funny because I guess I was sleeping. I heard it go.
Because it was
Yeah.
Hey,
It
the
was
TV
loud.
was
I
on.
heard
I was
it.
like,
It was on.
I got up and turned it off. I was like, what?
But you know what, Mo? I understand what you're saying, and I think I felt like the way for a long time because I'm a chick who would sleep with the light on. Before I became a single woman.
Turn it
But
off.
and this started like maybe 8 years ago or so, I was listening to something. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try this. And my sleep quality got better. And yes, it does. For a few days, you're like, I need to have something in my ear, some kind of noise. But the lights have got to go out, all of them. The TV, it needs to go off.
have to
Your
go out.
quality of sleep would be so
That's
much
why
better.
put on
my phone goes to grayscale.
We put on white noise, either white noise or I really like the rain one. Now, if I don't have TV, I'll watch the
rain.
I'll put
Is
the rain
pink
one.
noise. That rain is actually called pink noise.
Rain,
and I
ocean.
Yeah, it's pink noise.
too.
So I do that. Interesting enough for me.
I heard the term pink noise though. What does that mean?
Huh?
They have different noises: pink, brown, gray, white noise.
So pink noise is rain, basically.
Okay, that's just a name for it.
Yeah, it's just a name for it. So I've always had my high blood pressure got pretty bad when I was in Paris. I didn't know it because the French people don't tell you that kind of stuff.
The doctors don't tell you?
No, because they just everything that's wrong with you is because you're overweight. Yeah, okay, you're just so it's normal. And unless you lose weight, then why are we talking about it?
The mental health is good, but
The mental, but the rest of it is you got.
social care.
I'm just saying.
I'm preparing you mentally for what you need to do.
Yeah, and I even had a hypertensive stroke the first week I got back to America. And so went to the doctor recently, and she took my blood pressure. She said, "You got good blood pressure." I said, "No, can you take it again?" Because here in America you can have gaps in care, and so she's no, it's fine. I went back to doctor again because I had to get, and she took it. She's like, it's fine. I said, no, can you take it? I'm like, take it. It was fine. And then I went back, it's probably 2 times this, and she's like, your pressure is fine. I said, I've had high blood pressure most of my adult life. And I noticed that I've had a change. My lifestyle has changed. And so that's the only thing I can attribute to me no longer having high blood pressure.
As wound up as I usually am, I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have diabetes. I just have high cholesterol.
Yeah.
And I am a wound up person inside. I just come across as laid back.
Yeah. Even when I went to the doctor the other day. But like I said, I think something's going on with me, and I think stress induced it. It's stress induced. So I think I'll find out.
I mean, you had a hectic last 9 days.
Yeah.
Not just days, girl.
Yeah.
If y'all only,
you've had some serious months.
Yeah.
We need to do another episode on the health.
We do.
We do. There's still a whole lot more to learn.
It's a lot.
It is, but I just appreciate we can actually have the conversation about it. I don't think I've ever had a conversation with my mother about mental health. And so my daughter, we talk about it all the time, the me time and all that stuff. So I just appreciate that we're in a point where we can actually talk about it. We have access to the information.
Yeah.
Right.
And we understand the different ways of doing
Because of course
things.
they both go together. Your mental health is not right. Your physical health is not right.
And every time I go to the mental health doctor, they ask me 2 things. How's your sleep? And how's your appetite? Basic. Those are the first 2 things. If my sleep is off and my appetite is off, up or down, there's a problem. That's the basic level for health.
Yeah.
Sleep and appetite.
Often, I know we're about to sign off here, but as Parker's been in nursing school and he's had some high stress days or whatever. And we always have this conversation because even at a young age, he takes it seriously. Now, he's not perfect with it, but even going through that process, I'm like, are you praying? Are you eating right? And he's like, no, I know I need to. But that's the conversation that we have. So he knows when he's at peak performance, when he is getting up and working out, when he's eating, and when he's praying. Because you have to he might not be able to call me. He does call me all the time. But
Because mental, physical, and spiritual all go together.
Exactly.
It all goes together.
It's very important.
Yeah.
So whether you're praying to Allah or God,
And I always wonder who people who don't have a spiritual life, like where's their center?
I don't know.
I always think about that all the time. Where is your center?
Spiritual health is important.
It is very important.
It is.
So I just want to thank our social butterfly for being here with us today. The anchor, rock steady in the house. For a show who continues and will continue to take our damn medicine. Let's get it going. All right, remember to like,
Share,
follow,
And subscribe.
and don't eat almond joys.
you got to keep them in business, Kim.
Bye.
Gross. We have come to the end of our conversation. We certainly thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again. Always remember that the journey of friendship is built on the path of loyalty, acceptance, and grace.